Divide it by mass times heat capacity.
Exactly. That's right. Absolutely
Okay,
right.
cool.
Yep.
Thanks, Dr. Espy.
Heat, and then it's boiling the water, and the temperature is rising and steaming right down, and this too will go up, right? So this will be something like this.
I see it now.
This is how about power series? Let's try power series. Yeah, you see that? How well the data is fitted with power series.
Trying to account for this space in between the jelly beans, right? And for sure, that's the hardest part about calculating this. How do you know, it's not like they are, all cubes. Unfortunately, that would make our lives much easier. But how do we account for that space? The equation for that trend line. And so
a lot of times when you're making a math model or you're just conducting any type of experiment with data, you have to make a lot of assumptions about certain variables. And I sort of realized how many different assumptions you can make and how much detail and how much you have to keep track of your information as you make a math model.
We looked at light, and we looked at how certain chemicals that are used in glow sticks to create light are more rigid and more symmetrical than others, and that creates like different types of light.
My two favorite workshops from the program was number one, proportions with Dr. Spangler. And we basically took a toy car and we see if it was proportional with a real car. And my second favorite one was when we talked about solar energy and solar power, and we just dug into the science that goes into it.
It's based off of the actual pandemic, and what Akil and I did was we used our personal stories and put it inside these characters.
The narrative and gameplay design on Beta.
Where Beta was a simple robot out to correct the errors that were in his programmatic world.
A large portion of the class was dedicated to telling a proper story using templates such as the hero's journey, and we ended up making and presenting our own stories with the rest of the class, which brings me to my next point. My favorite parts of the course were when we split up into groups and did long projects without any kind of supervision, because it gave us a chance to work without any guidance, and we ourselves were responsible for our own end products.
I enjoyed the workshop A Good Idea is Just a Start, especially because I was able to collaborate with my peers to create a mini-series of comic stories that truly allowed us to put our imagination and creativity on paper. Lastly, I appreciated meeting and interacting with the guest speakers that Dr. Cummings was able to invite, such as Khalil and Ahmed Abdullah, who are game developers that provided us with valuable insight and advice regarding the game development process.
Thomas Jefferson doesn't have any sort of relation with his sister in having an offspring. So this would not be the source of the same chromosome. It has to be coming from a different individual. Excellent.
The skin is the largest organ of the body.
Many ways to treat breast cancer.
Prostate cancer is also known as prostate carcinoma.
There's a life expectancy of 1 to 2 years, and this is mainly because of how rare it is. Every time we went into breakout rooms, it was really fun and just a great experience to be able to work with people who were just as passionate about the various topics that we discussed. And then it was even more interesting and just a great experience every time we came back as a whole group and with our professor, Dr. Arnone, and everyone. We just had this interesting and very engaging conversation as a whole class, and it made this experience very enjoyable.
As, oh, she doesn't like this that much, and so you won't be given a show or movie that is like that.
Gel. The other is a crushable liner.
The disease that causes the walls of arteries to thicken and harden is called iliac artery disease.
Has to be based on safety data. There still need to be clinical trials focused on that group. And if the data is strong, they'll come back and say it's approved for that age group.
I learned a lot of cool facts about the human brain and heart. I was particularly amazed at how software can be used to accurately simulate the complex functions of these body parts. I also had the great opportunity to learn how to work in a group setting and how to efficiently collaborate with others.
Its presentation it gave on colleges. It definitely made me think and realize that I do need to readjust my plans a bit and actually use the information they gave me, which definitely has helped and made research much more easier.
This presentation was very useful to me because I'm a junior, so I'm going to start applying to colleges soon, so it really taught me a lot about the college admissions process and how to look at it, and kind of tips for that, so I'll definitely be using the information that I learned in that presentation in the near future.
I really enjoyed the guest presentation by Dr. Dill. One of the biggest takeaways that I had from her presentation was that us students need to be proactive and make things happen for ourselves. She told us to take things one day at a time and work every day towards an established set of goals. She advised us on how important writing and networking skills are in college applications and in the long-term aspect of life, because these skills give us the ability to advocate for ourselves.
My future career is being a surgeon and helping people. So learning about cancer and genetics helped me know exactly what I want to study and what I want to focus on.
biomedical engineering turns out to kind of be my niche. Just, learning with Dr. Cook in that class kind of resonated with me. And I just got a lot from it. And I just knew that I wanted to be a biomedical engineer and design prosthetics to help people in need.
As a student in the applied mathematics track, on Sundays we would talk about, relevant issues with STEM-related solutions throughout the world. And like, for instance, the second weekend we talked about different ways to harvest solar energy because of the impending climate crisis. And whatever I want to do, I want to learn as much as I can about something, look at problems and see how I can solve them. And that's definitely, it was an eye-opener, and the ALA helped me realize a lot of the concepts and the ideology of what I do, of what I want to do later in life.
I've always had varying ambitions and motivations, so ALA has given me that option to finally focus all that attention into one thing I want to do.
It showed me that I was able to comprehend college level learning even though I am only a sophomore in high school.
The ALA program has helped build my confidence to pursue STEM disciplines by providing intensive work inside and outside of the classroom to further my knowledge in STEM disciplines that I'm already aware of, such as mathematics through the mathematics track and science through the medical track, while also providing insight to STEM disciplines that I may not be as aware of, such as engineering. For example, through collaborating with fellow ALA scholars in building a trust bridge outside of the classroom, I was able to get insight on the engineering aspect of STEM, which I didn't have much experience in.
ALA is so open to social change. In the STEM workshops, we talked about racial disparities, and even in the college trip, we talked about educational disparities, which I think is super important to learn about.
The most important takeaway from this program was that how science is so significant and how STEM careers are changing the world every day, and how young scholars will soon become the generation of the people who fix and better the world.
More important words that describe the ALA program are collaborative, educational, impactful, and eye-opening.
Explore, collaborate, support, and critical.
Passion, community, STEM, and fun.
One of the things that I liked are the virtual interaction with my fellow peers, especially now when we are isolated and have little contact with people outside of our home.
So that first night, when they told us that we were going to be doing breakout rooms, I immediately panicked. I was like, oh my goodness, everyone's going to have their cameras off, no one's going to talk, we're not going to be able to get anything done. Little did I know that was far from the case. We all quickly clicked with one another, and that was obvious because we shared the same passions, we took the same classes in school, and we all valued the same things. And it was clear in our conversation. It was super easy to talk to one another and build friendships with one another, even if it was in a virtual setting.
Things I enjoy about the ALA program is how diverse it was. You have people from all over the country, from so many different cities and states, all participating and learning together. The group activities were so much fun because you got to interact with new people almost every single time and learn more about each other. It was great because when I first entered the program, I was afraid that it'd be hard to make friends and find people with similar interests as me. But it feels like within the first and second sessions, we were all having a lot of fun together and had a lot of similar interests. I believe what I found the most helpful was how interactive they were. They were always willing to help you with whatever you're having trouble with and explain it in a way that really made it stick in your brain.
I was thankful for the opportunity to interact with students from different backgrounds.
On Friday nights, when all the tracks come together and I get to meet some new people from different tracks, I've met a few new friends from the medical track, the mathematics track, and they seem really cool, like really cool people. And I hope to, hang out with them one day.
STEM requires lots of hands-on activities, and with the pandemic and everything going on, you would think that it's difficult. But ALA, I felt like, was able to adapt to the circumstances and teach us really valuable information while keeping all of their students safe.
Thank you Du Bois Institute, Ms. Watson, Dr. Ellis, Dr. Boone, and Mom and Dad for allowing me to have this opportunity to enhance my education in the medical science field.
Thank you to the ALA sponsors, Bristol Myers Squibb, Johnson & Johnson, and Verizon.
I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Spangler, Dr. Arnone, Dr. Biswas, Dr. Cummings, Dr. Cook-Chenault, and my parents for believing and chaperoning my educational abilities.
Thank you to the Du Bois Institute and the various staff and sponsors that made this experience possible. It is truly a blessing to have a program such as this available to people who aspire to have a STEM-related career.